Hi berries, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my channel if you have landed here for the very first time. Hope you subscribed to my channel, clicked on notification bell so don't miss out any further updates. You can also follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, सारे के सारे link description box में. Namaste, this is Dvija और कैसे हैं आप? A very happy Halloween to everybody. I hope it's not over the top, लेकिन ये मेरी costume का part है and I have uploaded a Halloween vlog. इससे पहले आएगा कि बाद में मुझे नहीं पता है, but I hope you can see it and enjoy it as well. Okay, हम continue कर रहे हैं Ghosts, Demons and Hauntings, Paranormal expert Neil De Silva, The Ranveer Show 230. मुझे ये वीडियो भी ASMR में ही करना था. I'm going to try my best to lower the volume and keep that atmosphere alive. बट मैं अगर इसमें बहुत सारा पॉज करूँगी तो ये वीडियो कब ख़त्म होगा आई डोंट नो. इट्स अ 27 minute long वीडियो. लेट्स जस्ट हॉप ऑन एंड टू गिव यू द न्यूज़, मैंने नील डे सिल्वा की अभी बुक ऑर्डर की है, द हॉन्टेड. आई होप आई एन्जॉय इट. का थोड़ी एक्सपेंसिव थी दूसरी बुक से, बट आई डोंट माइंड इफ़ इट्स गुड. ओके, लेट्स जस्ट गो प्लेइंग. होल्ड ऑन. Playing.
But then, which are the ghosts which are evil?
Okay,
The
which other
evil
ghosts are
I
evil?
think from what I have heard from all these experiences from the paranormal investigators, the ghosts that have something left in their lives, in their current lives, something that they wanted to do, or those who had an unjust kind of death and murders, because they are mostly dead by some violence, some kind of violence. There has been violence either throughout their lives or in their death. So there is this concept of Pishach, the ghoul that we have, our Hindu mythology. So the Pishach is believed to be created when a man dies a very violent death in a surge of anger. So if suppose you kill me and I'm very angry that you killed me, but I can't do anything and I just have to die, I will probably become a Pishach. So this is where the ghosts turn evil. And
Like
once
a poltergeist?
poltergeists are just noisy ghosts. They are not
Right, we saw
evil.
this one, but it's okay.
So the
we'll just-
experiences of poltergeists that I have chronicled, I have seen that they are not evil. They are mischievous. They are naughty. They try to disorient you and they try to somehow sap your energies. But they will not kill you. Poltergeists, they hardly kill.
But Pishach can.
Pishach can.
Have you heard first-hand accounts of Pishach hauntings?
Not of Pishach, but there were certain other creatures, I could say, entities that I have worked with. One of my books is Yakshini. So Yakshinis are very prevalent in the south of India, kind of
South.
demigoddesses. And they are believed to reside in a realm somewhere between earth and heaven. So they are in Alkapuri, that is a realm governed by Kuber.
Oh,
What are these words?
Kuber is, in fact, Ravan's brother, the brother of Lord Ravan, and he is supposed to protect all the wealth of this world on this earth. So he has a big
yeah,
hood,
right.
and he's like Indra, but in a demigod version.
For international listeners, Ravan is the mega villain of
Ramayana.
the Ramayana, which is an Indian epic.
Yes.
He was supposed to be the king of the Rakshasas or the demons.
Yeah. Yakshinis are these demigoddesses. They are believed to also be on earth. So sometimes they just meander and they come to earth. And when they come here, they are mostly in their evil forms. So they would they are very voluptuous. They are very beautiful to look at. But then there is this one form of them, which, once the seduction has worn off, then they come into this evil form and they will, of course, their victims are usually men, and that is how Yakshinis function. But there were so many folklore tales of people having sighted Yakshinis and Chudels and Dians. So these are all our supernatural creatures that we
Right.
talk about.
Chudel is witch.
Chudel is a kind of a witch, but basically
It's
a
in
Chudel
Dakar.
and a Dian, they have a
Dian
very
Dakar.
similar overlapping kind of origin theory. It is believed that when a woman dies at childbirth or when she is pregnant, and if she is not cremated properly with all the rituals and all, then because of the latent desire in her mind, she turns into a Chudel.
And what happens in that reality?
So once that person becomes a Chudel, then she will be on this earth unsatisfied, and she will not be able to see the happiness of other women. So it's a
Okay.
kind of a vengeful ghost.
I had
Not a
actually
ghost,
read
I would
something
say,
very
an entity.
different about the.
And Diane?
Almost similar lines.
Okay.
So this is based on the, like the region where we are coming from, but they are very similar. Lots of parallels.
What's the scariest ghost story you've heard in someone else's life, maybe someone near you? Has there been an account that just freaked the shit out of you?
Okay, so this
Does always.
really happened when I was writing The Spirits Talk to Me. So it's a co-authored
Right,
book.
yeah.
Sarvajit
I didn't
Panda,
order this one, I
he was
ordered
my
the other one.
co-author, and he's a paranormal investigator. So the concept of the book was 10 stories of his real life explorations, what he had done. So he sent me the first story, which was his real story, his real account. So in Bhubaneswar, outskirts of it was a small village, and in that village there was a very strange phenomenon happening, which was young guys, very eligible young boys, they would just wake up in the middle of the night, walk out of their houses, cross the main highway. There was a forest on the other side. They would go to the forest, wherein there was a tree, a huge tree. They would just hang themselves on the tree. And this happened multiple times with a lot of boys in that same village. Nobody knew why it happened, why the same tree, but it was kind of an expected thing that every few days you are going to find a boy hanging from it. Sarvajit went to explore it with his team. He got
Yeah,
all
I
this-
should have ordered this book.
he
But
has
it's
got
okay.
a lot of
After the
paranormal
book I
stuff
have.
that he uses, so equipment I would say. So he took that, he went, he explored, and he found this huge mass of black energy, dark energy.
What does that
around the
mean?
tree. He could sense it because he has
Right.
psychics
You
on
don't
his
usually see it.
So
It's just
this is
the-
something that normal people do have a sense of, but to a very small extent.
Like when you get creeped out in a
We
particular
get
location.
Right,
creeped
it's
out.
very
We would
heavy
just
feeling,
describe
I
it as,
feel.
I got creeped out. I do not know what
Right.
happened. I would just
This
see
looks
a
so
shadow
weird,
pass and
though.
I don't know what it is. But if you're a psychic, and after talking to psychics, like Sarvajit's partner Pooja, she's a psychic. So when I spoke to her, she could actually visualize those things. She could actually see a form. So she felt that there was a lot of sadness that happened in the tree. What that sadness was, we don't know. And that's beyond the point, because it must have happened 500 years ago, 1000 years ago, we don't know. But now that latent energy that is around the tree, and because Sarvajit and Pooja, they went there with the mission of finding out what's the truth about the tree, they had to they had to face a lot of difficulties there. Like, there was a kind of, how should I explain it? A kind of a small mini tornado, which engulfed the whole tree while they were there, which
Oh.
was quite unheard of in those places. They heard voices, and they could actually see like people, like how they show in Hollywood movies, the long black shadows, the tall ones. So they actually saw all that stuff.
Slender Man.
So when the villagers would go to cut the tree would not allow itself to be cut. There would be kind of, that person would fall sick, the woodcutter or something, and a tree cannot be cut in a single day. So the day that he would try to cut it, that evening he would fall sick and not. So they understood that the tree does not want to be cut. The tree still stands.
Oh.
We had Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai on the show yesterday where we spoke about the Atharva Ved and how it contains a lot of elements of black magic as well, and occult sciences. He spoke
I really like
about,
his podcasts. I'm gonna say that.
these elements, like
it's my
trees.
first, but
Nimbu Mirchi.
right.
Nimbu Mirchi is
Lemon and chili.
Lemon and
Lemon
chili.
chili.
That's one of my books again.
Okay.
It's a nazar utarna, like
again,
negative
India is
energy ko
one of those
bahar.
countries where there's so much spiritual wisdom everywhere. There is a whole spiritual world in our country, but then there's also this underbelly of spiritualism, which is this whole occult side of things. Where when you're growing up in India, often, especially when you're traveling around the country, they tell you not to urinate on a tree.
Right. Or else you spit before you do that, something like
They
that.
say that trees can house spirits. Trees are a sort of safe heaven
Right.
for spirits, and that spirit can kind of possess you if you urinate on it. I don't know how true that is.
I know, I've heard it
I've
too.
not urinated on a tree yet. So I don't know, but
So cute.
what do you make of
Yet.
all this?
What I've heard is, I have heard something similar to this, not about urinating, but not to walk under a tree, especially a banyan tree at
Or
night,
call
Banyan
like
or
trees.
people tree,
come.
So because they believe that there were betals on it.
What is a
So the-
betal?
that is the hanging kind of a ghost which hangs from a tree.
Like a gargoyle?
It makes it looks like a gargoyle, but gargoyle would be very different because a betal usually does not have a form. Again, a betal is a man who has died, and because of some unfulfilled wishes, he stays attached to a tree because a tree is a very permanent kind of thing, right? So it stays there. So that's what a betal is, and a betal is supposed to again haunt the people who pass by, even travel with them to their homes, and then jeopardize
Right.
their entire
Right.
lifestyle, create havoc. When the man is dead, he returns back to the tree.
In one of the stories you spoke about, how you depossess a person or you cleanse an environment.
Exorcism, kind
Even
of,
in the
है
movie
ना?
Exorcist, where
Right,
they
ऐसा
hold
ही.
a cross against a ghost. In Islam, there's talk of jinns and how again there's a spiritual element. That's what Maulvis do in order to kind of cleanse a place. Even in Hinduism, there is an element of chanting and meditation which cleans environments. Is that how you counter these kind of dark energies, according to you?
There's somewhere I think people have used those things, and there has been a kind of a benefit. Like the people that I talk about, Jai Alani, for instance, when Jai goes there, what he usually does is he tries to find out what's the root cause of this
the-
entire thing. Now, in many of the cases, the root cause is a human being playing mischief, because that also happens. There's some blind faith somewhere.
Right.
Or sometimes you just
Profile
latch
out
on
है
to
उसका.
what that place is from, which is the epicenter. Because there's always an epicenter of all these things. If a haunting is happening in a particular area, then there is one thing that is causing that haunting, which I have seen a lot in Jai's stories. So like in one of his stories, there was a curio, kind of a souvenir, which a person had bought from a foreign country. And that had
They
a
got
spirit
attached
in
to
it.
ऐसा ना?
And because of that, that guy had a terrible motorcycle accident. He got disfigured. He lost his wife because of that. And later on, it was found that the
It's
whole
ghost,
epicenter of
basically,
it
है ना?
was that particular curio which was carrying that ghostly
What
element.
was the souvenir?
It was
Just
a kind
negative.
of a cup, I suppose. Just a very harmless looking mug. But it had been possessed by. So there were these objects also that we talk about. Since you spoke about conjuring, so the people, the Warrens, they had this whole museum
Right.
which had all these artifacts.
I think we'll have to give the listener some context here. So I think in The Conjuring, towards the end of the movie, they call depossession experts, I don't know what to call it, paranormal investigators.
Paranormal investigators.
Who
Demonologists.
kind of help clean up a place if it's deeply haunted.
Yeah.
And that was the Lawrences.
That were the Warrens.
Warrenses.
Ed and
Lorraine. I
So,
don't.
the Warrens. Okay.
Warrens.
So,
Oh, I have seen all
the
that.
Warrens have
पूरा
a
उनका
museum that contains all
documentaries
these
and
artifacts,
everything.
and they've just kept them there. I would not want to enter that museum.
Obviously.
The very famous Annabelle doll.
That's still there today.
That's still
Right.
Okay.
the movie series you must
Yeah.
have. We are also making ourselves vulnerable to the other world, because they are listening to us. They know that we are interested in them. So therefore you have to be ready, because the ghost, possibly such entities might decide to show themselves to you.
No, thank you,
That
please.
could happen because they
Respect
know that
you,
you are
but
trying
please.
to, somewhere conjure them.
Yeah. And probably you need to be ready for it yourself
Yeah.
also.
You need to be ready for it.
As I kept meditating in life, like my meditations kept becoming deeper, and I kept feeling more and more fearless towards these entities. Like the same entities that created so much deep fear. I did not sleep alone till I was like 21, 22. At this
Same
stage
here.
of same.
Same.
Yeah.
I still.
I can sleep
I'm not
alone even after
comfortable
watching.
when I hear that there is a death somewhere around me, because I have this very morbid fear of dead bodies.
My mom does have that.
And I had that even when my dad expired, and I was petrified when his body was to come home. Not because of any other reason, but somehow, death plays on my mind in some reason. I feel that a person has gone to a world which is unknown. So somewhere it's like this vortex that pulls me in.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And over the course of this show and talking to people like yourself and Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, I've just figured that there is a science behind this. It's just that the world of science, as we know it, has not put in enough time, effort, research into these things.
Possible.
And you can't just discount it as otherworldly. I feel that's old school thinking.
I think the real reason here is because there is no evidence.
Right.
Science, it
पर
depends.
काफी चीज
I'm
है.
a science person. I'm a postgraduate in organic chemistry. So all of my life as a student was spent in formulas and wanting proof, seeing proof. But now I know that there is no way that you can prove these things. How can you prove another world which is just energy?
The engineer in me wants to counter you with the question of electromagnetic fields. Like
Yes.
there are devices to measure the amount of electromagnetism in a particular
Yeah, the
place.
ghost meters that they are called as the K2 meters.
And
K2.
what does that device specifically do? Like in terms of
It just detects the EMF
Energy.
around the space. Like if there were typically the very simple model of a K2 meter would have like 5 lights. And one light would be always blinking because there is always an electromagnetic frequency field around us, so that would always be blinking. But sometimes, if suppose this is a live wire, now if I go near it, it will be up to 2 lights or something like that. But there are certain things, certain places, like somewhere in the deep of the jungle, suddenly all 5 lights will come on. Now there's no reason why there should be an EMF there,
सही है.
but then they come on. So this is how it works. Now again,
Or
this
abandoned
is an
places.
observed proof, but you do not know what is causing it yet. You infer that it may be a ghostly entity, but have you seen the ghostly entity? No.
No.
You are just making an inference. So that is where I feel that still we have that disconnect, and till the time we do not actually see a ghost like with our eyes, our normal eyes,
or experience a ghost.
or experience.
Or
Experience
experience.
is again individual. So my experience, the world may not believe it. They will just debunk it.
Same.
I'm talking
I
about
agree.
people who do not believe in such kind of
Agree.
things.
Agree.
But
सही
then
है.
technology is advancing by leaps and bounds. Like I just saw on Twitter yesterday that in Japan there is a tech to record our dreams and play those back to us. So there is a technology for that now.
Wow.
So I'm sure that something might happen. But yeah, as you also said, we need to have that drive to do something in this field.
Have you had any experiences with witchcraft at all?
Oh. I don't want to have.
Really, I would not say that.
And then that's a story for the next time. I have a story. I've actually been at the receiving end of witchcraft
Okay.
for a moment.
What
But
did happen?
okay, we're getting there.
Yeah,
Please,
for the next time.
just say it.
Okay, so I went on a date. Like it was off of a dating app. This happened 3-4 years ago, maybe. First date, it was fine. I made it clear that I didn't want anything romantic, but I was open to meeting again. As in, I didn't want a casual relationship also. Lots of
Just
people use dating
friends.
apps to just kind of get to know new people, and that was
I know.
So I met an older
A lot of
person.
people do that.
I didn't pick up anything the first time I met her. I was also I'd just broken up, so I was rebounding, I think. Wasn't really looking for anything, but I just felt a normal, good conversation. The second time I met her, she said that I had a lot of fun the last time, but I can't believe that you didn't observe something, because the first time I met her, we spoke about spiritualism, we spoke about these larger than life concepts, intuition, things like that. She's like, your intuition didn't pick up that I'm kind of into witchcraft? So then I said,
Run.
No, not really.
Run.
I'm interested in terms of what is going to happen here. Okay?
Run.
Now let's dial back a year or two before this happened. I have a friend who is a strong psychic. He's a high level psychic. He's a good friend of mine. When we were in a part of Delhi once upon a time, and he claims that Delhi is one of the most haunted places because it's one of the oldest cities in the world.
Okay.
And it's seen a lot of battles over centuries. So he claims that there's a lot of angst and pain in Delhi because of the ghosts of the people and all that. So sometimes when I'm just walking with this guy in Delhi in the daytime, he'll start doing this. He'll rub his hands like this, and then he'll loudly clap, and he'll continue rubbing his hands. And the first few times he had done that in front of me, I looked at him and asked him, why are you doing that? And he said, no, it's nothing. And he'd keep doing this at some other part of the road. So then I bothered him. I asked him, why are you doing this? And he said, I'm sort of just creating a protective field. I'm like sending things away. That's all he told me. I don't even know what it means. Okay. Now let's come back to this story. Now this girl, I was on sort of, I won't call it a date, but I was meeting for the second time and that shop was shutting. So she's like, okay, what do you want to do now? So I said, let's go somewhere. So then she told me, okay, let's go to Juhu Beach or this particular part of Bandstand or this particular part of Carter Road. You know that part of Carter Road there? Now the weird thing is, I've had a conversation with that same psychic friend about these three locations that she named. And he said that he's had some kind of ghost encounters in those three locations.
Oh.
So a normal person would have said, no, I don't want to go with you and I'm going home. I wanted content. So I said, okay, let's do this. Okay?
And go home.
Run. We decided to go to Carter Road. Now we got off on Carter Road and we decided to walk along the promenade. And it was relatively empty as compared to what it is normally. Okay. Now we're walking. And maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds into walking, this woman does this.
Oh.
And then I'm on high alert a little bit. I don't know what she's doing. So we keep walking. And we sit down on this particular part of Carter Road where there are people, but it's still got a slight creepy vibe. I don't want to name what part of Carter Road it is because it might cause a lot of frenzy online. But it's a populated part. So
tell me, I'll never go there.
I go into my spiritualism realm, okay? Because I've had occult experiences in my life which I've spoken about on the show as well. I've had a very strong sleep paralysis experience which turned out to be something real eventually, as in someone else another psychic had come to my house and told me that yes, the experience you had was real. So I've dealt with these things before, according to me. And the way I'd come out of it was through mantra chanting when I was a kid. Someone taught me a mantra which had worked for me. Now I knew that I'm dealing with another occult experience here. So when I sat down with her, in my head I'm just doing a mantra jap to sort of protect myself. It was the same mantra jap that had helped me as a kid. Now while I was sitting with her, we were just having a very loose kind of conversation. It was interesting, but it wasn't really interesting. There was small talk. And she wasn't really talking much through this. For some reason, I was talking a lot in the same way that I'm doing now. You know, she asked me a small question and then whatever, I'd give her something. And then she'd always end it with like a yes or no kind of question where I would have to answer in a yes or no.
Okay.
And as I kept talking to her, I must have sat there with her for like half an hour. I just kept feeling more and more dizzy. And I didn't know what the fuck is going on. I just felt a strong gut feeling to leave from there after half an hour because I was really tired or dizzy. I don't know what it was. So I told her, okay, I'm going. I booked her an Ola. I booked myself an Uber. Okay, we're going in two separate directions. When I sat in the Uber, I'm still feeling dizzy. And I hadn't told anybody, not my co-founders, not my manager, nobody, not my teams. Now the psychic friend calls me Samnas. Okay, and he's like, who are you with?
Oh, sheesh.
Like, why? She said, no, just tell me who you with. So I said, just I met someone. He's like, I strongly feel someone's done something to you. There's some kind of dark aura on you. What have you done? And then I told him that this happened. So he said, okay, wait. He gave me a mantra. He texted me something. And he told me, wherever you are right now, meditate in that vehicle. And just focus on that mantra. And I swear to God, my head was spinning in that vehicle as I was meditating and I was doing that mantra. I didn't know what the happened. When I went home, he told me some more things. He said, have a salt water bath and all that.
Yeah, I don't have cleanse of energy, right?
Salt water is quite common.
It's supposed to wash off negative energy.
The aura that clings to you.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I am a meditator. I meditate for an hour daily and I've been doing this for years now. That night when I sat for meditation, now here's the kind of meditation I do, right? Like it's deeply technical and I kind of intuitively know when to stop doing it because sometimes your body doesn't isn't ready to go to a deeper level of meditation. So I get an
I need
intuition
to learn
that
how
I
to meditate
gently
properly.
stop. But on this day when I was meditating, I didn't get out of it gently. At the peak of my meditation, I felt like someone took a long pin and just shoved it into my finger.
Oh,
I have no idea what that meant. I asked him. I think he knew that something was on, but he refused to tell me what it was. He's like, if I tell you, you may not want to meditate again and all, but just forget it and keep meditating. That was it. I never spoke to that lady again, but I also like kind of cut her off from
It
it.
sounded like some voodoo stuff.
yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
what it was. And she knew who I was, and I think she was in the quest for fame. That's what I gauged from her. And they say that black magic can be used to take something that someone else owns and bring it to yourself. Youth, money,
That
fame.
kind of thing.
I don't know what it was. So that's
I don't know
been my
much about
experience
black
with
magic. I don't even
witchcraft,
want to
and
go
saying
there.
that
I'm not
there is
a
a whole
fan of
positive
it.
angle of witchcraft. There are positive witches in the modern day. That's a whole other subject. But yeah, that's my experience.
We'll
Scary.
get into that positive thing because there is also a lot to speak. I don't know if you have heard of the village of Mayong in Assam.
Yeah.
That's believed to be the birthplace of black magic. It's in Assam, and
Where in Assam? Is it near Guwahati?
it is near the Kamakhya temple, near Guwahati. So there it's believed that everyone there is a practitioner of black magic, and they use it for healing. There's something in the land that makes things happen. So people with all these kinds of ailments, they go there, and there are these tantrics and ojhas and stuff.
I think it's more like if you
They do
believe
some
in it,
mantra on you,
the energy
cleanse you
works
spiritually.
that way, like
Trip to Assam
secret.
has been a long-standing wish for this same reason. I wish to explore this world.
There's a lot of mysticism in Assam.
Even other Indian states, Bengal also has a lot. That's what I
Yeah,
heard.
Bengal also. And horror is very popular in Bengal. Horror literature, I mean. Being an author, I know that.
Neil De Silva. So it was a great episode.
Oh, it's over already.
I don't think
Oh,
there's more to unpack.
30 minutes हो गए. Okay.
To have you again on the show.
No
I
idea.
Hope it was a good experience for you.
Love
Thank you
it.
so much for having me on the show, Ranveer. It was fun talking to you, fun sharing my experiences and listening to yours. I hope your audiences also enjoy this.
No, I think we're two like-minded, slightly messed up dudes. So,
We all are.
That's true.
just great getting to know you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
That was the episode for today. The intention with TRS from this point onwards is that we're going to bring you a lot more dark content.
Love
I
it.
recommendations from you folks.
I'm gonna
The
keep
intention is
watching
to
it,
bring
like
on
my stuff
paranormal
maybe, if you don't want to
investigators,
watch it with me.
people who are interested in subjects
know.
like ghosts, subjects like tantra. I want to know what you guys thought of today's episode. I want to know what you guys thought of our edit of today's episode with the music.
I love
Stay
it. I want the
tuned.
music.
This is the kind of content that brings us the most joy as a team when we're involved in this process of creation, when we're learning more about these dark topics. And of course, dark topics get all the views, so we love it all the more.
I wish that would happen on my channel,
Dark
please.
Topics, if you follow us on Spotify, every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Hope you enjoyed this
I
episode.
love it.
Hope it didn't scare you all that much.
No, it didn't scare
And if you're
me.
listening to this alone
Enjoyed
at
it.
night, all I want to say is that they're watching you as you listen to the Ranveer show. I'm kidding. I just want to say I love you.
Okay, the last video जो हमने तन्मय का देखा, that was like scary video. This was more like a knowledgeable video. But हाँ, ये सब पे ये belief पे होता है सब कुछ. I think it's all energy, like I said. I don't think about the ghosts and everything, but I more likely believe in the energy, positive and negative. And universe definitely catches a lot of energy. So अगर आप किसी चीज़ पे बहुत शिद्दत से believe करते हो, then it might happen to you subconsciously, consciously. You know, it plays tricks, and that's how it just works out. It might be there, it might not be there, we never know, but I don't want to challenge them. That's what I would always say. मुझे किसी को challenge नहीं करना. I would just believe that there are energies out there, and I hope they are just happy more than anything. I would really hope कि मुझे भी views आए. Views in the sense is more likely more people are watching and enjoying what I watch as well. मुझे बहुत टाइम से horror content करने थे मेरे channel पे, because I love that so much, But unfortunately, people who watch me do not enjoy that, so फिर I keep on not watching it, or I watch it for myself. But I hope our community, increases so we can do this kind of things more often, please. Manifesting. I really enjoyed, hope you did too, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye berries, love you.